Welcome to this week's version of Pete's Pick. This week we'll be doing Adobe Illustrator. And I'm going to show you some basic fundamentals in Illustrator that will give you the ability to alter type, alter shapes, change color, using layers, etc., etc. You'll see as we go along. So let me first eliminate what I have on the screen here. And I'll get rid of Adobe Illustrator. I should just leave that up, but I won't. I'll take that down as well. And now we are going to proceed. The first thing that we are going to, actually not the first, the whole thing we're going to do is create the shape of a heart, and we are going to fill that heart with a color, and we are also going to have text run around the heart following the same shape as the heart. This will give you the ability to do multiple tasks within Illustrator. So let us start. First, I'm going to go over to the left here to my shapes. And you will see here, there is a shape as a rectangle. Now that underneath there, if you hold down the mouse, once you are on that shape, you'll see multiple shapes appear. We don't have a circle, so we will go to our ellipse tool. Move back over onto our screen. Now, if I were just to hold down my mouse and extend, I would go into all multiple kinds of ellipses. In this particular case, I wish to make a perfect circle. To do that, we hold down the Shift key. It goes into a circle. I can make it larger or smaller, maintaining my finger on the Shift key. So let's make it a little bit larger. Release the mouse first, then release your finger from the Shift key. Notice we now have a black circle. That is a perfect circle. So now I'm going to move that on the screen. I'm going to begin to manipulate this circle into a heart shape. I'm going to go over first, over to my choices here, and pick my selection tool, which is the upper left arrow. And I'm going to go down first and change this from a solid circle to just an outline circle. And if I go down to these two boxes that are down here, you'll notice that the back one is a solid black. The front one is a white with a line through it, showing that there is no color on the line. So I'm going to reverse that with these little arrows here. And now my circle is just an outline circle. I'm also going to move on to the screen and move my object up by selecting almost anywhere. So I'm going to move it up to here. Okay, if I want to manipulate this circle, I have to change my arrow. So I go back up to the top, and to the right now, there's a direct selection tool. So I will click on that. Notice how the circle has changed. I am now going to deselect, because if you notice, there are tiny little boxes. There's one at 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and also right in the center. So first I'm going to go outside and deselect everything. Then I'm going to go back to that 12 o'clock. And as I move along this line, you will see all of a sudden, it will find the spot. And it takes a lot of eye-hand coordination. The arrow is small, the box is small. I have tried in the past to enlarge my image, hoping the box would get bigger. It doesn't. It stays the same size. So we have to live with that. So once I have done that, I will now click on that box. Notice I have a highlighted box here, and I have these extension bars. All right, we'll deal with them in a moment. First, we're going to take this box, which has been selected, and I'm going to move that down. I can do this manually. I can move it anywhere I want. The blue line indicates where it's going. Or I can do it using my arrow keys. Or I can do it by manually clicking on that box, holding the Shift key down, and whoops, Pardon me, it did something wrong, which is not unusual. Ha 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 ha. So let's go back here and go back and let's use this. And we're just going to take this down using my arrow. And I'm just going to move that down to a point. I don't know where. I'm just deciding where I want. So I'm manipulating it. Now what I want to do is make this arc a little bit nicer so it looks like a better heart. So if I were to grab this outer edge here and move this, notice what happens. The opposite one moves as well. To stop that from happening, we hold down, and this is in the Mac, we hold down the Option key and we click on that particular one. Now notice only that one is moving. All right, so I'll get it to a spot where I think I'll get a fairly nice looking heart. I'm not, that might work. Let's see what would happen if I move it over. Whoops, see, even I miss it sometimes. That's how sensitive this can be. Now I gotta find it again. There it is. Click on it. So you have to be right smack on there, and it is difficult. All right, we'll keep it like that. And I'm gonna go get the other side because that's a pretty crooked heart right now. Oops, missed it again. So you see, even the experts aren't experts all the time. All right, right on it. Hold down the Option key. Ah, I missed it again. There we go. And what I'm going to do is do it in about the same area as the other one going the other side. Okay, good enough for right now. Now I'm going to go down and click on the bottom one, that's at the 6 o'clock. And I'm going to take that one and move it down a little bit. And the same way I did the other one, I'm going to hold down my Option key, grab this little end here, let it go to the other side, grab that one, move it up, and we have a heart. Pretty sick looking heart, but it's a heart. So we'll deal with it. Okay. So now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to, let me just move this back. My image went off. I'm going to go back, pardon me, and talk for a moment. Let me go back to my regular selection tool. I'm going to go back and I'm going to come over to the left side over here, and you'll notice it says Layer 1. Imagine layers within Illustrator as being sheets of glass, one on top of the other. You can see through them and it will stop at the object that you're looking at, or you can vary them. You can move one layer on top of another to change things around. It helps a great deal in Illustrator when you have complex shapes to create. So right now, I am going to create a new layer. So I'm going to go down all the way to the bottom here, and you'll see down at the bottom a little icon of looks like a page with the edge flipped up. That will create a new layer. And you can see now up on the screen, it says Layer 2. If I want, I can also label these. So I can click on this and rename them. I'm not going to bother at this point. We're not doing that complex of an object. So now, if I try and move this, I will not be able to. Let's go back to Layer 1, because that's where this heart is. And I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to use keyboard commands here. I'm going to use Apple C. And then I'm going to go to Layer 2, click on it. And I'm going to go Apple V, which is paste. Oh, that's wonderful. We only did half. How did that happen? Let's go back here. Good, you're seeing me make errors too. Oh, Layer 1. See, nothing would happen. I was in the wrong layer. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to go Apple C. I'm going to go to layer 2, Apple V. There we are. Notice this one now has a red line around it, but I can still manipulate it the same way. But before I do, what I want to do with this is I want to make this one a little bit larger. So again, to maintain the ability of the shape to stay the same proportions, I'll hold down my Shift key. I will go up to one of the corners, and notice how it changes to a double-faced arrow, and I will make this a little bit larger. How much? Doesn't matter in what we're doing. Then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to grab it right in the center, and I'm going to move this one, and I'm going to envision using the red as a guide, approximately the same distance, left, right, top, bottom. It's not exact, but it's pretty good. Okay, if we wanted to, I could always take this point right here, which I think I will do to show you how to manipulate a little bit. Come back, get my selection tool, and just move that point over a little bit, or a little bit more if I want. All right, I can also move it up a little bit. Okay. Now I have my original heart and I have my copied heart in larger. So I will now go over to my text tool. Text tool, guess what that is? A T. Again, there are multiple things under the text tool that you can select. So in this particular case, I'm going to do text on a path. I go over to my path, click on it, and mine happens to have lorem ipsum, which is just the type that Adobe Illustrator uses to fill spaces, and it automatically followed that line. All right, I don't like the size, I don't like the text necessarily, so I'm going to go down. I can either go to my type up in the top area, or I have a little character guide right here. I'll move this up and on so you can see it a little bit better. In fact, I'll put it right in the center here. Okay, now I'm going to change my character. I'm going to change the typeface. Let's go to a Helvetica. And I'm also going, oops, come on, stay in Helvetica. There we go. I'm also going to make the size a little bit smaller. That's a little bit too large. So I'll come up here and I'll make the size about a 24 point. Could be 24, could be 18, whatever you want to make it. That's up to you. All right, but it doesn't go all the way around. Plus, I don't like this wording. So I'm just going to go ahead and type. I'm going to make sure my cap locks is on in this case. And I'm going to say be, whoops. It really helps if you spell things correctly. Be my Valentine. Boom. And I'm going to add a space after that. Boom. A space. And I'm going to copy this. Apple C. And I'm going to go Apple V. Paste it. Notice right over here is where my text tool is blinking, showing me where it will continue. So Apple V. Wait a minute, I made a mistake. I have to select all first. Apple A, Apple C, Apple V. And I can do this a number of times. Now I'm going to do it one more time because I want to show you what else we do. Now, this does not look good at the top in that part of the heart right there. It's very difficult to read and it doesn't look very good. So I don't like that. So I'm going to go back over to my selection tool again. And let me get this out of our view. We don't need this anymore. Just put it over to the side. And now it's a little bit difficult. If you notice this indication right here, this shows that the type is selected for my tool And if I envision approximately halfway around, I will see a single line. Sometimes it's very difficult to see. In this particular case, it's not too difficult. It's down here. So what I want to do now is I want to select that. Notice what happened with my arrow, by the way. Went from hollow to solid when it's selected. So now I'll press on my mouse button and I can move this type. If I move it on the inside, watch what happens. The type moves to the inside of the line. So I have the ability to vary my type. I can move it around, I can go inside or outside. So let me just stay on the outside and let me just move it. Sometimes it's hard to see. You will get used to this after some time. And that looks pretty good, as a matter of fact, because you know what? I misspelled B, didn't I? Me, my Valentine. All right, we could go back and change it if we want. Just go back to our text tool. Just get rid of that. Put in a B. That makes a little bit more sense. I never said that I was good in spelling. Might be good on the computer with some of these programs, but not except, whoops, too much of that. It's just B, and one more up here. All right, that's a little bit better. Now we have manipulated the type around, although I don't like this right here because the punctuation mark there is on the wrong side. So I'm going to go back, select that guy again, and move this just that little bit so that this will jump back over there. Come on. Oh boy, it jumped. Let's see where I am here. B, there it is. There we go. No, that's not right. There we are. You got to play with it. It's not exactly a user-friendly thing here. And I wish I could get it to be a little bit more user-friendly, especially when you're doing a demo. But I've done this for about 37 years now with Adobe. I started when Adobe was Adobe Illustrator 88 when it first came out. So I'm used to it. All right. No, not good. Not good. Can't even see my line. Oh, that was really good. Somewhere up here is my mark, and I'm going to try and find it so I can move. Should be right here. My arrow should find it for me. And if it doesn't, I'm going to move it out of the way so I can see it a little bit better. Should be right here. No. Don't you love when a demo goes this way? Halfway should be right here. Okay, folks. All right. Let's leave this, and I'll tell you why. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this layer entirely and start over again, which is another thing that you can do as well. All right, so I've highlighted that layer. I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to go back up to layer 2. I'm still in layer 2, and I'm going to paste it again. Oh, no, I don't want to paste the type. That's what it's going to do, or it's going to try and do. I don't want that. I'm going to go back to layer 1, select this object, copy it, go back to layer 2, paste it, make it larger. See how much faster it goes the second time you do this? Move that object. See how much faster it goes? There we go. Okay, there we go. And we'll come back to our text tool and we'll put it right up here. And we'll just quickly type, and then maybe this time I'll be able to type it without making a mistake. Be my Valentine. Okay. Space, copy, select all, copy, paste. All right, let's stop it at that point. Go back over, get my selection tool. Click on it to highlight it. There's the beginning, and there's my center line. You see how it can be very difficult to find. And let's just move it a little bit. Outside the line. Come on. Be nice to me. I'll get there yet. Just keep on moving. I'm holding my mouse key down. All right, I want it to be about there, but I want to look at the bottom. That looks pretty good, actually. There we go. All right. We could add more in here if we wanted to, more type in here, but at this point, we're not going to bother with that. All right, so now we have our type and we have our heart. And now I can go back because I cannot select my heart, this one. It will not select because I'm in the wrong layer. So I'll go back over to layer 1, select this heart, and I'm going to fill it, which it was originally. So here you can see on the left, my outline is black, my fill is nothing. I'm going to reverse these. And I don't like a black heart. I don't know about you folks. So I'm going to go over now to my color chart here, and I'm going to find a nice red. Oh, maybe we'll go with a pinkish red. And we can fill it. If you want to make changes, such as I would in this particular case, I'd want to make this heart a little bit bigger. So I'll take it, go up to my corner, enlarge it, and then I can move it to where I think it should be. And we end up with something like this. Now, this may not seem like a lot to you, but if we quickly go back, and I just go over very quickly what we have done and what we have used. We have used layers. We have used colors and changed colors. We have changed our text size. We have copied and pasted. We have taken an original shape, maneuvered it to a different shape using a multitude of different aspects, just making it larger, etc. So there we have a heart with text on a path around it. An easy thing. What I'd like to remind you and to offer to you is this. Get onto Adobe Illustrator, pick up tools, try things. As I've always said, play with it. Play with it for a while until you begin to feel comfortable. You're not going to destroy anything except whatever you're working on if you haven't saved it. So just go ahead and play. Manipulate shapes, manipulate type, change the color of type. If I wanted to change the color of this type, I'll go to my layer 2. I'll select my type. I will select all, well, the wrong one. I have to take my type tool to select the type. Click anywhere within the type. Apple A for select all. And I can make the type a different color. Deselect, etc. So you can go back and forth and do any of these. So go and play. But this is a basic. So you can do this with great ease, and you'll have fun doing it. It's not hard at all. The hardest part, as I said, is manipulating, using this arrow and these little teensy boxes that they give you. And just to show you that, let me blow this up. Oops, wrong way. I wanted to view the other way. Zoom in. All right, let me zoom in some more. And you'll see, no matter how large I make this, let's view it even larger. Zoom in again. Those boxes stay the same size. Let me just move the object so you can see it a little bit better. Notice that box right down there? Still just as small as it was before. So it doesn't help when you really blow it up to find that box and access it. So it is difficult, but that's a matter of eye-hand coordination, and you will get used to that after a while. It just takes a little bit of time. And you saw me, who I've done, I don't know how many hundreds or thousands of these. Even I sometimes can't get it to be right. So enjoy. If you have any questions or any problems with it, you can always contact me, or you can go on our Thursday afternoon sessions and let us know what your problems might be. In the meantime, enjoy, stay healthy, stay well, and we'll talk to you real soon.